So, can you talk a little bit about what's coming up for the rest of the season for Tom?
Well, we're about at the halfway point now. The group has sort of found defensible shelter. For the first time, is being able to synthesize all the loose strands of information that we've gathered about the enemy and trying to figure out a way of weaving those into our tactics so we can stop being so reactive and be a bit more proactive. So the second half of the season is really about identifying some vulnerability in the aliens and turning the tables and bringing the fight back to them and to the city of Boston.
And now the kids are being separated from the adults. How is that going to affect your character's performance or just his emotions? What's going on with that?
Well, this is sort of a two-parter. The one that aired last week and the one that airs next week are really, it's one big show, one big storyline, which comes to a head next week. And it was a decision that is sort of reminiscent of what happened during World War II during the Blitz, where English children were sent to the countryside to protect them during the Nazi bombing of London. And whether that's the smartest decision, whether they're safer away from you or whether your kids are safest with you. And so that's the ethical dilemma that my character finds himself in. He decides it's in their best interest to go, and then he actually ends up putting them in greater harm than if they'd stayed with him. So he, from here on out, will trust his instincts and that inner voice, which is a pretty good barometer.
And Falling Skies was renewed for a second season, so congratulations. What do you want to see happen next year?
Just the continuing evolution of both our mythology in terms of the science fiction aspects of the show and our character development. You know, I was really intrigued at taking a guy who's basically an academic and going through the deconstruction of an intellectual and arriving at a guy who's really more of a primal, kind of violent warrior statesman, I guess would be the hybrid. And I think we're about a third of the way through that arc, so I'm excited to go back and really explore that further.
What's a scene from an upcoming episode that you're really excited for people to see, or what's really fun to shoot that?
There's quite a few.
One in particular?
There's an episode coming towards the end of the season. I think it's our second to last show, which is a very self-contained episode. There isn't a lot to do with the aliens, but it's a lot to do with the differing philosophies about leadership that Weaver and Tom Mason have. And it's sort of their relationship, which has been simmering, coming to finally a volatile head. That's going to be a good show.
And you'll finally see that happen, obviously, in that episode.